Nice. So, welcome everyone, and thank you very much, Andrew, for coming to talk to us about your YouTube journey. Quick intro,
Pleasure.
everyone, on Andrew's kind of context before we hear from him. Is Andrew is a live sound engineer, which my understanding is that means that Andrew basically goes to lots of gigs and concerts and conferences and kind of events around the world to basically sort out the live sound, make sure that the sound systems are all set up nicely. And I'm going to bring up Andrew's channel now. So this is Andrew's YouTube channel, Offshore Audio, 61,000 subscribers, 193 videos posted. And you can see Andrew typically gets like a few thousand, if not tens of thousands of views per video. And over the years has had some very successful videos in this space. Does gain matter in live sound, how to stop vocal feedback forever, 10 things I never do as a professional sound engineer, all this kind of stuff. And I've been making videos for a long time. If we go back to the oldest videos, now 5 years ago, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, long time. And Andrew, over the years, has made a bunch of different things or monetized in a bunch of different ways. We've got some like courses on his website. These courses here, which are just like self-paced online courses to help you do specific things. And then in the last year or so, Andrew has kind of had launched a high ticket offer called the Live Sound Career Accelerator, which is all about helping live sound engineers build like a full-time career in live sound, which is something we'll get more into today. But this is the kind of page for that as well. So high ticket kind of coaching offer, essentially. So Andrew's done it all basically over the last few years, and so yeah, it's going to be interesting to hear. Oops, how do I stop sharing? There we go. Interesting to hear more about it all from you, Andrew. I would love to know, Andrew, is there anything else any other context you'd like to share on top of that brief intro?
I don't think so. I think you pretty much captured it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's about right. Been
Okay,
at it
cool.
for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you summed up live sound engineering
Yeah.
pretty well.
Cool.
So that's
Okay,
cool
so
too.
it was a great summary. And the and as some like I guess revenue context, or like life context as well as business context. Andrew basically still works part-time as a live sound engineer, a few days a week, and you also kind of run this YouTube business on the side. And between the two of those, you have a pretty nice live sound related business,
Mhm.
which last year did in the six figures too in top line revenue.
Yeah,
Because
it
you
did.
posted it, yeah.
Yeah,
Which is
forgot that.
awesome. Yeah. In total revenue, yeah, which is pretty cool. So, yeah, I'd love to know, to start with, why did you start posting videos in the first place on YouTube?
Oh, yeah, cool. Great question. Why did I start posting videos in the first place? Because when I started working in sound, right, I originally started out doing studio stuff, so recording bands. And then I was like, well, it's not enough work in this, it's too hard to find clients. So I thought, like, I can do live stuff too. And then I kind of very quickly realized that even though I'd studied audio, I didn't actually have a clue what I was doing. And I had all these like fundamentals from education, but like literally no practice, and no one to mentor me. And so I always had it in the back of my head for the years that I was doing things that like someone should create some kind of resource for this, because at the time there were like recording resources on YouTube, but there was
Yeah.
basically no like live sound resources. So I just had it in the back of my head for a while. And then like when the pandemic happened, I just thought like, well, I have time now, because as it's probably no surprise to everyone that the entire live events industry collapsed.
Yeah.
So there wasn't so much to do. And I just thought like, well, do you know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna make videos about the things that I found completely confusing, or that I knew nothing about when I started, and I've only learned through like being on the job and making a mistake and being like, well, that sucked. So that's why I started. But I also didn't, to be clear, like when I started that, I'd like tried a couple other like, I guess you might say, business things previously. And so I was going into it with the idea of like, this will make money. I wasn't doing it like I want to be a YouTuber. I was like, this is a good business. Like it's something I'm interested in, and I could definitely make a
Yeah.
business out of this. And
Out of
so I
interest,
actually,
I was
yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say 5 years on, how do you feel about that decision? Or how do you feel about that hypothesis that you had that it was gonna be a way to make money?
How do I feel about it? Good. I'm glad that I had that hypothesis
Yeah,
because if like, I mean, it's all just like you're all just building on your experiences as you go through life. And like for context, the thing that I tried before that was a sort of live event based thing, and I didn't enter that at all with the idea of like let's make money. And you very
mm,
quickly find out that if it's not making money, like it's not going to make money unless you intend for it to make money. Like no one
yeah,
throws money at you. So even just starting it with the idea of like this is going to make money, kind of, I think it was a good choice. Like it gave me the
yeah,
headspace to be like, this is not about numbers, it's not about views, it's not about like, although obviously I pursue those things and I'm affected by them.
yeah,
But I'm glad that I did it because like the whole time I could be like, okay, right, is this channel like, am I making money? Yes, no. What can I do to change that? And I was kind of loosely aware of things like
yeah,
how do I like what's like click through rates? Like if I offer a product, how many people should be buying it based on the
yeah,
numbers that I have on an
yeah,
email list and things like that.
yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Um, Sorry, very quickly, I just realized I meant to try to test out this feature where we pin both of us. Nice,
Oh,
okay,
sick.
that's cool. 'Cause I
I
think it's
love that
slightly
stuff.
nicer for the recording.
Yeah.
Cool. So the reason I ask about the, like, how do you feel about that decision is because I think there are obviously lots of ways you can make money in life in life, but YouTube, I think, is on, uh well, I guess it depends on like, how you perceive it, but I think it's a hard business to build, and it's not something that makes you money on day one, whereas lots of things do make money on day one. If you go out and sell your time to mow someone's garden or clean someone's house, you make money instantly. Whereas YouTube is like it's a bit of a long road ahead, and it's not necessarily the fastest way to make money, and it can be a bit of a battle at times as well. And there's lots of things you need to learn how to do. So well, it's good to hear that you feel positively about that decision. And what
Yeah.
were your early thoughts on like how you were going to monetize? So you went into it with this monetization, like monetization kind of front of mind. How were you thinking about it at that time?
I was like, I'm gonna make a course and I'm gonna sell the course.
Nice.
So I've mentioned this before to you, Tintin, but for everyone else's context, there's a content creator called Graham Cochran, like a US
Mhm.
business guy who was previously in the audio space. So I knew him from like his videos about audio. And then he pivoted to like the kind of career stuff, not career stuff, business stuff.
Yeah.
And so I was following him and I had like, basically I had it in my head. I was like, yeah, well, this is where the delusions start, right? Like I was like, yeah, I'm going to make a course and put it on the internet and people will buy it. So actually, before I even started the YouTube channel, I made the course first, which I'm sure everyone probably knows by now is the not the way to do things at all. Is the opposite way of doing things. So basically, my plan was to sell these courses, and so I made a course basically saying like, this is how you mix a gig, and I put it on the internet, and then I was like, that's strange, no one's buying it. Well, I
Yeah.
suppose how does anyone even know it exists? No one knows it exists. And then I was like, okay, now I need to market it.
Right.
And so I didn't know anything about business. All I knew was about like organic content creation to generate an audience. And so I was like, well, that's how I'll get people to know about it.
Interesting. That was the first course. Okay. And,
Mm.
uh, and how did it go? You started making videos, you started sending people to the landing page, presumably?
Yeah, like basically no one bought it.
Mm,
Um, for many reasons, I'm sure.
yeah,
One being the main one probably being that I didn't ask anyone what they wanted. I just made what I wanted and then
yeah,
tried to sell it.
yeah,
Um, and also like, I knew that I needed to get an email list.
yeah,
So I like, I was basically offering the first module of the course for free um, as a lead magnet
yeah.
that people could get for free in exchange for the
Nice.
email address. Uh, But to be honest, the first module of the course was the most boring part of the entire course. So, like, why would
Yeah,
retrospectively, like, someone would watch and be like, "This is incredibly dull." Uh,
yeah, yeah.
so, so yeah, terrible idea. So it went terribly for ages until I had like a little more traffic going in, and then I think
Yeah.
I changed strategy a little bit,
So
and
this
things picked up a
you
little.
started the channel in like 2020, I'm guessing. This it must have been, or 2020, 2021.
2021, I think.
Yeah. And then you made the course. How long did it take for your channel to start to uh like actually get traction and start picking up some views? I'm gonna bring it up on screen, but yeah, what was kind of the journey there?
Yeah.
We go back down to
Well,
the
how long did it take? If I was to guess, I would say that I made the first video and nothing happened, and I just continued, and then I was very inconsistent.
yeah,
Um, I can actually like I can maybe actually check the cadence of the videos in the first place. But I remember I made like the first video, and then I waited ages to make a second video, and then
yeah,
ages, and I didn't have any of this consistency going for me. And
yeah.
actually, I started being a little more consistent, maybe like 6 or 7 videos in.
Okay, yeah.
Um,
I can see it. It
and
looks like you made something like 25 videos in like this year, 4 years ago, something like that.
yeah, something like that. Let's let me have a look and see if I can work it out. Surely I can. Like if I go to custom and I do 2021, then
It's
let's
it,
see.
it yeah, might be
Who knows? Yeah,
maybe
like
possible.
basically, as far as I remember, it took me a bit of time to get into it.
Yeah.
Um, and then when I got into it, I like yeah, so like I'm looking at it now and like it seems like I started posting in the middle of 2021. And then when I got into the flow of things, uh, I started posting a little bit more.
Mhm.
So maybe yeah, I can see like I posted 3 videos kind of like within, like a week of each other. Then I took about a month off. Then I posted
Yeah.
3 videos, then about 3 weeks off. Then I posted one more video, and then another month off. And then I posted one new video, and I got like to give you perspective, the amount of views I was getting a day was like between 1 and 10. 10 was a good day for
Yeah,
like
nice.
between May and August. And then in August, I posted my eighth video, and on that day, apparently, I got 320 views. But I think
Yeah.
the thing that happened was that like yeah, I don't know. Maybe that meant something. And then again, I posted 2 videos after that. Nothing basically until the end of the year. Then 2 videos at the end of the year, and then things started to like pick up. Then the graph starts going
Yeah.
up a little bit.
Did anything
But then,
change? Did you start taking it more seriously, or was it just that you think?
did anything
Mm,
change? Like, I don't actually think so. I don't think much. I think pure luck changed in that I posted enough videos that something triggered.
yeah,
I was going into the videos in the end screen and linking back to previous videos, and
yeah,
something happened where my first video took off.
yeah.
For some reason, after I posted that eighth video, not even after that eighth video, it was like way later, like 12th video or something, right at the end of the year, things started picking up because suddenly that first video just started getting search traffic.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
and then it kind of like that gave me a little bit more motivation to
Mm.
kind of keep going with it, I think.
And, um, you did also do something. You mentioned, uh, the lead magnet. Again, I just wanna bring this up. So you kind of went through the roadmap journey quite nicely in the first in the first few in the first few years, which is where you were making videos on YouTube, but you knew from the day one that building your email list was a sensible thing to be doing. And so
Yeah,
as your audience grew, your email list did as well. Were you sending
yeah,
emails at that time, or were you just like a couple years
no,
ago, or were you just growing the email list? Okay.
no. I
So
think
it's
maybe I would
yeah,
send an email saying I released a new video.
yeah,
Um,
nice.
but I couldn't guarantee. I don't think I was doing that in any
Yeah,
regularity. Probably not until the second year,
nice.
anyway.
Okay. So we were kind of nicely growing the audience, growing the email list, and you have having these thoughts about monetization. and you had this master live EQ. Was that the first one? That was the first
No, it
course?
was Unlock Live Sound.
It was
That was
Unlock
the
Live
first one.
Sound,
Yeah.
and that was just kind of sitting there as a link in your video descriptions. Is that right?
Yeah.
And it would
Yeah.
occasionally get bought, I guess,
Yeah.
or very
But I
rarely.
mean, like, really, I don't think anyone bought it in the first
Yeah.
year. Like, maybe at the end of
Okay.
the first year, where the views started going up to,
Yeah.
like, several hundreds per day,
Yeah.
then I think maybe someone bought
Nice.
it. But I
Yeah.
remember, like, the first time someone bought it was
Yeah.
ages after I released it, like,
Okay.
I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, wow, cool."
Yeah. I guess, um, yeah, you did this. You went backwards in this roadmap. Yeah, I guess you launched your offer
Yeah,
and then started building your audience. Um,
yeah,
but okay, so then channel's growing, email list is growing. You've got this one course here, Unlock Live Sound. Um,
mm,
then let's say you're kind of like it's a year to 2 years in. What's going through your mind, and I guess why do you decide to make the next course as well? Like, what's the kind of story there?
uh I decided to make the next course because I'd been doing a lot of, like, I guess, listening to podcasts and trying to read books and things, and essentially I got the message got through that you need to, make something that your audience
Yeah,
wants to buy, and so I thought, like, well, I'm gonna try and validate things a little more.
yeah,
So uh again, like, most of this info I got from Graham Cochran. I basically was like, well, do you know what? I'm going to create a lead magnet. I'm going to pitch that in my videos,
yeah,
and I'm going to see how it does. And so I made an EQ guide. I looked through the comments of my old
yeah.
videos, of which I had like hardly any. And I was
Nice.
just like, is there anything
What's
people want?
something I can make? Yeah,
Yeah. And then I made the lead magnet for the EQ, for like an EQ guide. Um, for anyone who doesn't know, EQ is just like, yeah, manipulating the sound.
yeah,
And so I made a guide for that, and then I put it up, and then essentially I just paid attention to the numbers of people downloading it, and the numbers of people watching the videos. So I could say, like, okay, well, I've got 1,000 views and I've got 50 downloads of the lead magnet. So that's like 5% conversion on that, which after a bit of Googling was like, okay, I think that represents reasonable interest.
hmm
And at the time, I was like, well, that's grounds to make a course, isn't it? Now people want a course on EQ. And so,
yeah.
of course,
Would
I just thought, well, here we go.
so so would you is that how you would approach it today, or were you thinking about it
No.
differently? No.
No, today I would just ask people.
Yeah, you'd make
Today
sure that. Yeah,
yeah, today if I got the EQ, like, the people who signed up for that EQ thing, like, before I even made the EQ lead magnet, I would probably make a community post and email my list and say, like, no matter how small the list was, I'd say, hey, thank you so much for signing up to the list. Thank you so much for watching videos. I was going to make a video, or I was going to make like a freebie about EQ. Is this interesting to you? If so, what is the thing you struggle most with
yeah,
in EQ? And then I would pick the thing they struggle most with, and I would make a guide about that.
mhm,
And then I would do the same thing. I would double check, like, if the guide is being downloaded, like, a reasonable amount. If it was, and I thought this seems like a good idea to make a course, then I would email everyone who downloaded the guide and say, thank you so much for downloading the guide. I'm actually planning to make a course about this. What would you like to see in that course? Is that something you would be interested in? Um, I'd probably just like ask, like, what is it that you find
yeah,
difficult about EQ? And you know what? I'd probably ask to speak to them. I'd probably be like, can we get on a call and talk about EQ? I want to talk to you and find out what you don't understand and see if I can make you understand it.
yeah,
And if I got enough people to come on a call and like clearly articulate to me like what the problem was, then I would probably have started a waiting list and said, like, I'm going to make this thing about EQ. It's currently in development. Put your name in the list if you're interested in dealing with these problems, or if you experience these problems, and let me know if there's something that you would like to see in the course, because I'm making it and you can still influence what it is. And then, depending on
mhm,
the reaction to that waiting list, I would decide whether to actually make the thing or not.
nice.
Or I
Yeah,
would go one better and I would
yeah,
say, like, if you want to, get it like early access, then you can pay some ridiculously small amount of money to secure like and influence the creation of the course and like collect some money
Yeah.
up front. And then if
Resell
I
it and
got enough
yeah.
money up front to, yeah,
Mm.
that's probably what I would do.
Yeah. Pre-selling is definitely an interesting strategy. I just did it with my thumbnail masterclass course a couple years ago now, and
Mm,
it definitely gave me some motivation to actually go out and make the course because people had bought it. But
yeah,
a wait list, just for everyone listening, is also very useful because you don't then eat into your potential launch revenue when with a pre-sale, which can eat into it can be your warmest customers, your warmest leads who are actually then spending a little bit less if they get it at a discount or something like that. And so um uh yeah, waitlist I think is generally a better approach, and you can move forwards with something if it's a good number is like 150, 200 people on the wait list or more, then it's kind of reason enough to move forwards with it. But I guess, Andrew, you at the time didn't do that. Did you just literally just start making the course there? And you were like, cool, people like the lead
just,
magnet.
yeah,
Yeah.
I just made it.
And,
I
and
just went out there and made it.
how long did it take you to make it? And how did you actually approach uh, making it?
That's a really good question that I can barely remember. Like, how did I actually make it? How did I approach making it? I think
Mm,
basically I just sat down and said, like, what's everything that I know about this and what's
yeah.
I kind of just looked at like how can I present this information in a way that is understandable? And I thought
Yeah.
about things like how can I present this information in a way that addresses like the problem specifically of people mixing live shows, um, and try to convey a bit of information in that, like, you know, try
Yeah.
to convey like, okay, how does each band how does each like bit of the task get broken up and how do you know that you understand it? And so I kind of built it structurally on like building blocks to be like, this is like going from like pure beginner basics to like adding a little in to like adding more and more control. Um,
Okay.
yeah. And then the launch, I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
I don't
How
even
did
know if
you
there was a
launch it?
launch. I think I literally just was like, this is available now. I
Okay.
don't think I don't
And that was it.
maybe do you know, maybe something I can find, like um, if I look at my Stripe data, like I
Okay.
might be able to find this because I was on a
I'm
different
going to bring
platform
up
back then.
whilst you're doing that, I'm just
Mm,
going to bring up this. So it was this one here, Master Live EQ. So it was this course, and this must be yeah. So 2023 or something like that, a couple years ago. Um, and
2023, it
this
could
is the
be.
current landing page, which looks okay, I would say. Um, yeah, another online course. Do you know roughly how much you made with this one?
Like when I launched it
Or
or,
yeah, kind of. I guess in the first like couple months, maybe yeah.
not much. Uh,
Are we talking
not
like
much. Was it?
£5,000? It's a dollar, sorry, or less, more or
Yeah,
less?
something like that. Let's like if we launched in 2023, I wonder if I can get my like, uh, yeah, like I think less. I
Yeah.
think,
Okay.
oh, no, wait,
A
maybe
few
not.
$1,000.
No, maybe not. Maybe, like, I'm trying to look at it here. I don't have this, I haven't prepared this data, so I don't really know.
No, that's okay.
But, I think no, it looks like I was selling, like, a fair bit of it. Um, in, like, January 2024, I've sold, like, a few, like, at least, like, $1,000 worth of stuff.
Mhm.
Uh, and
Okay.
then yeah, like, it would be fair to say a few $1,000
A few thousand, okay,
is
yeah. We don't need
probably is pr
the exact number. But then you
yeah, yeah.
decide you're still making videos, still growing the email list, but then you decide to make a 3rd course, um,
Mhm,
which is called System Setup School. System Setup
mhm.
School. And, what was going through your mind next? Obviously, you've done it twice, it's not made that much money. Um, are you thinking, "I just need to make more courses because it will just continue to compound over time?" Are you even considering anything high ticket at this point? Did you know that that was an option? Are you just like, "I'm just doing this YouTube thing, I'm just gonna keep going. I'm just gonna keep making videos, making courses." Like, yeah, what's going through your mind?
Yeah, what was going through my mind was, like, to give a bit of perspective of, like, how I think, small my thinking was, um, that I made the system SEP School one because it was a more high-end skill. It was like a more advanced skill to have of something that's
Yeah.
like fairly misunderstood and like seems quite complicated. And my brain, my poor brain was like, I could sell this for like $350. And I
Yeah.
was like, that's expensive. That's
Yeah.
like in my head, I was like, that's an expensive course. And I thought, like, basically, I got the message that like the easiest way to make more money is to sell more expensive things to fewer people. And so I just didn't quite get the memo that that meant like thousands, not like a few hundred more.
Yeah.
um, so yeah, so that was that was
Okay.
the deal there.
That was the thinking, and you were just like, "Right, I'll just do it again. I'll just make this another course, and I'll do it all better, launch it properly, check people want." Did you
Yeah.
check people wanted it at that time? Did you launch a wait list? Like
Yeah, I made a wait list for that one. I made a wait list for that one, and I think I just like I don't think it was anything groundbreaking. I think I just had
mm,
like read more stuff, watched more videos, listened to more podcasts, kind of had a better idea about like starting a wait list. And do you know what it was? I think I had taken the part-time YouTuber Academy,
mhm,
maybe. Uh Ali Abdal's thing. And
yeah,
then I think when I took that, I think I just understood a little bit more about everything. And I understood just from receiving the emails, the
yeah,
marketing for that, I kind of understood how to better sort of create that kind of demand
yeah,
a little bit. I think, like, I don't remember super well, but yeah, that was it. I kind of like validated a little more and thought like, hey, this is a more expensive thing. And also the previous two courses were like, I just felt that, well, I've only made 2 courses, so, like, I'm not good at making courses yet. So I just thought I need to make more to get better at doing it. Like, the only way
nice.
to get better is to make
Okay, yeah,
more and see
yeah,
if people buy them and see what people
yeah.
like about them.
Okay, nice. And how did that 3rd course do, when you launched it?
Yeah, it did quite well, actually. I think maybe it made, like, I mean, quite well.
Yeah,
It's all relative. I think it made maybe, like 5,000 or something, 4 or 5,000 on launch, which to me was,
mhm,
like, unheard of. I'd never made that kind of money in like a week.
yeah,
Um, so I think it was like 4 or 5,000 um, that it made. Yeah,
mhm,
in fact, it was right because that
yeah,
was. I think I released that course not long before I started working with you.
yeah,
Um,
I think it was about 2 months before or something like that, yeah, in
yeah,
that September, yeah.
yeah.
Okay, and had you at that point considered, uh like, talking to your audience at all or working with your audience, like, one to one at all?
Yes, I had, and I was totally avoiding it.
Okay, you had
Um,
considered it. Yeah,
yeah, because again, my sole source of truth was Graham Cochran. I mean,
yeah,
I don't mean that actually. Like, I did like expand later on to other sources
yeah,
and stuff. I watched like a lot of Ali Abdaal stuff. But like again, yeah, a lot of the stuff that Graham Cochran had said was like, yeah, it was common sense. Like, like validate stuff before you deliver it, get on
mhm,
calls, go live and talk to people. And I
yeah,
was just like, I always entertained the notion and I made excuses not to do it. And for the
yeah,
longest time, my excuse was like, I don't have good internet in my studio. And
yeah,
just like any excuse to not do the uncomfortable thing.
yeah, yeah.
So I was avoiding that for sure,
Okay.
but I
How
knew I
big a
knew it was
difference
an
do you
option.
think how big a difference do you think it would have made if you'd done that 2 years before you did originally?
A massive difference.
Yeah.
I mean, I think if I could go
Yeah.
if I was to give advice to anyone who is like starting a YouTube channel, if they were like where I was 5 years ago and you're starting out, I would immediately just be like, 1, set your expectations until you've done this for a year. Don't expect any kind of like delivery from the world to you of views and
Yeah,
credibility. And 2,
yeah,
like talk to people as much as humanly possible at the start. Like it's just the hardest thing in the world is to get the actual information out of people. Um, and
mhm,
so like anyone who's willing to talk is like, yeah, just talk to them. I would say like I say it would make a
yeah.
massive difference. It'd be probably one of the most important things.
Super interesting. Yeah, I say it all the time, but it hits different coming from someone like you who's actually lived it as well. Okay, nice. Then, yeah, then we started working together about a year and a half ago, just after you launched that third course. And
Mhm.
at that point, I guess the YouTube channel was like, I think it was around 16,000 subscribers, if I remember
Yeah,
correctly.
I think that's about
And
right, yeah.
you had an email list of like 10,000 people. I think it was quite a big email list. I remember at the time, or maybe
Yeah,
maybe even
yeah,
slightly more. And uh, you had three courses as well. So you'd been doing YouTube for like 3-ish years. You had 16,000 subscribers, uh, 10 to 15,000 email list subscribers, three courses, and overall, I guess making on average like $1,000 to $2,000 a month across the year if you like flat averaged it out, something like
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah, I think I literally made $15,000 from
Yeah,
the entire year from YouTube stuff with, like,
in that
courses and
year. Yeah.
AdSense involved that year.
In hindsight, yeah, like 3 years in, all that work, like, do you think do you think it is what is worth it? 'Cause I think it's an important question to ask. It's like, is it worth all the effort and all the hard work, like, uh, for, for that amount of money? So obviously it's not all about the money, so it's why, like, yeah,
Mhm.
is it worth it to you? Or was it?
Yeah, I mean, I was stoked.
Yeah,
When I made, like, 15,000 from YouTube, I was like I was mostly interested in it being a signal of, like,
yeah,
going in the right direction because it was like year 1 made nothing, year
yeah,
2 made like 3,000, and then year 3 made 15, and I was just like, "Okay, well, at that rate, year 4 is
yeah,
gonna be, like, really nice, and year
yeah,
5, well, then we'll be
yeah,
having a good time," you know?
yeah.
Uh,
I guess your
essentially.
annual trajectory has just consistently increased, hasn't it? Because last year was
Mm.
like 3 to 4 times the previous
Yeah,
year
top line last year was about 50,000.
from the YouTube
Um,
business, yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Mm,
from yeah, spent a lot more on expenses and things, but, like,
yeah,
so, like, I don't know what I've not really actually done the calculation of what the profit is at the end of it,
yeah,
but it's also not, like, a massive concern at the moment. I'm
mhm,
mostly interested in, like, getting the actual revenue number up and then
yeah, yeah.
looking at it later. So,
You
yeah.
have the
So, I
foundation.
was
Oh, sorry, yeah, you go.
yeah, I was just gonna say, like, yeah, I was pretty stoked about the 15,000 for, like, 3 years. I was like because when I entered it, I was like, "This is not going to happen overnight."
Yeah,
And I think the main reason for doing it was just to provide a resource which I didn't think existed,
yeah,
uh, but then also with the side of like, well, if I'm doing this, it should make some kind of money. And
yeah,
then like
might as well.
15,000 to me was like it was
Mm,
pocket money, you know. I used the money from the launch in 2024 to buy a fancy holiday to Japan for me and my partner, and like
yeah,
which I went on last year in November. It was like I planned it for a year. It was just like,
amazing.
hey, this
Yeah,
feels like it was free.
yeah,
So
and
that was nice.
yeah, that's super cool. That's super cool. And when we started working together, do you remember the first thing that we actually worked on, before the monetization stuff?
I remember I don't remember exactly what we worked on, but I just remember you saying to me, "Why do you make it so hard?"
Really? Yeah,
And I was just like, "I don't know." Um, the first thing we worked on before the monetization stuff,
yeah.
I actually don't remember. I assume
The
you do.
Yeah, yeah, and yeah, it was outsourcing your editing.
Yeah,
Um,
okay. Yeah.
that was the first thing. Because so for context, I met Andrew before I had launched my coaching program, and it was just like a one-to-one, uh, client, basically. We were just working together one-to-one, hopping on calls every week, because that was what I was doing at the time and trying to get more, experience of doing that and helping YouTubers. That was kind of part of my journey, and, yeah, Andrew was still doing everything himself, and he didn't have enough time alongside his, actual like job of doing freelance live sound gigs. um the video editing was just taking up too much time, but Andrew was making money from the business already, and so we thought it would make sense to reinvest that into an editor. So then over the course of about 3 weeks, I remember you put out an editing application form to your audience. You had all these doubts. You had so many doubts about
Oh,
whether it was
so
possible to
many.
find someone who knew about live sound engineering and knew how to video edit.
Yeah.
And um, as I say to everyone, the best place to find the person that you need is in your in your audience, because the chances of that person being, in Andrew's case, of someone being interested in both of those things is like they're probably going to be in Andrew's audience. And so you put out a video editing application form, did a bunch of interviews, and found an epic video editor, who you
Yeah,
then ended up outsourcing your thumbnails to as well.
yeah, yeah. I feel like there's a I just wanna I just wanna hammer home, like, how difficult that was,
Yeah,
both emotionally and also, like, for everyone's context, like,
it was.
it was
Yeah.
not super easy for me to do because I just had this belief and that it would not be easily solvable for someone else, and I would just have to spend super long going through revisions and things. And then Tintin was just like, "Well, this is how we're going to do it," and gave me a like framework essentially for like running through it, and then talked me through like this is what we're looking for each week, and over the period of weeks we sort of went through it and like so that was hard. It also wasn't as easy as, like, just being like, "I'm looking for a video editor," and then I got the ideal one. Like,
Mm,
I went absolutely
yeah,
ham on that application and, like, sent it to,
yeah.
like, email
We
my
can actually
list, put it on my
find it.
comments section, like, everything.
Yeah, um,
Yeah.
it was not very long ago. It
Yeah,
was
I don't put that many posts up, so
no.
definitely not.
Um, Here,
There you go.
I'm hiring a freelance video editor, preferably with some combination of video editing, lifestyle experience. If you're interested or know anyone who might be, then you can apply here. Is this still live, this page?
I wonder is it still
Yeah,
live?
there we
Yeah!
go. There we go,
I
it's
should get rid
live.
of
Yeah.
that.
Not currently taking any new applications. This is the application form and the pay, and then Andrew got over, like, I think got over 30, maybe 40, 50 applications, and, yeah, interviewed a bunch, all sorts of emotional hurdles, as you said. But then one thing I wanted to point out here was we also then like, the next bottleneck, to sort out was thumbnails, and Andrew was doing a lot of them himself. As you can see here, there's a l that these are okay. They're not violating too many thumbnail principles, but the design is a little bit, um, weak. And then, um, and then, we thought maybe Andrew's video editor could also do them, and you can see when he sort of took them over, and they started to look a
Yeah,
lot better, and the views started to go up quite a bit at the time as well. And
yeah,
uh, and often your video editor is a great place to look for someone who can do thumbnails, because they often have an eye for both. They have an eye for design, and so they can do thumbnails
yeah.
as well as videos. But it's not a case with everyone. But you can see, and this, I think that's been a big part of your growth over the past year and a half, has been the thumbnails being that much better than they were down here, which is like, just a little bit, um, less nice to look at, or less clickable. And so, for the sake of time, as fun as it is to dive deep on that, which it was an interesting chapter, the basically the next big thing that we worked on was, um, trying to figure out the the kind of like what the monetization potential was, for your audience, and to explore something that was high ticket, where you're working with your audience more closely, to help them achieve like a more specific, bigger transformation of becoming like
Mhm.
full-time live sound engineers. Do you want to just share what that process was like, and what you kind of what you kind of started doing?
Yeah, well, it was mostly me saying like, "No, Tintin, I couldn't possibly charge that much money." Uh, um, yeah, what was that process like? Um, I remember sitting down and like going through it all, like the products and things with you, and then essentially you being like, or like, why don't we just like get a big transformation and charge people this much money to realize it? And then yeah, a huge amount of emotional work to even accept that as an idea.
Hmm.
Uh, I even like I wanted to relaunch the system setup school course. So I
Yeah,
remember we did that first because I was like, no, let's
yeah.
relaunch this. Let's do another launch of this after some feedback instead of just like listening to you in the first place. Um,
I think it was.
and
You said you're
yeah,
going to relaunch it. You carry, sort
yeah,
of
but
stay true to your word.
yeah, but then yeah, I remember basically, yeah, your pitch to me was basically um, start taking calls, like tell people that you're you want to help them with their live sound problems one to one, and post an ad mentioning your videos, and like just see put up like some arbitrary price for like an hour long call, and then or what was it? Was it book a free call to talk to me about
Mm.
booking booking
A
a package of
yeah.
calls?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then essentially start trying to find out what people really needed that I could help them with, and then pitch them on like a small package of like 6
Yeah.
calls to help to work with them on that. Um, essentially for
Yeah.
the sole purpose of gathering data and finding out who the kind of subsets of my audience were, and like who has the money to spend on the problem and what they actually want out of that situation.
And did you find, well, obviously, I know the answer to this, but did you find that there were different people in your audience than you expected?
Yeah. Like I was very surprised because I've been making a lot of like technical videos, and and there were a few kind of groups that popped up in the audience. Um, some people wanted technical advice, and some people I worked with to give them technical advice through the kind of one-to-one thing. But then a lot of people were actually just like, how do you get work? I don't understand how to even get a job in like life science. Like I feel like I should be working as a life science engineer. I have the skills, but like no one gives me any work. I'm just sitting around like 3 weeks of the month, and then someone phones me to do one day, and then that's me.
Yeah.
And then I realized like that I had done that twice because I'd moved country. I'd done it before in Scotland, and then I moved to Norway, and I did it again. And I was like, huh, okay, actually, I'm quite well placed to answer that question. And also, just after a number of years in the industry and the context that I have, I could look at what they were doing and be like, stop pretending that you're, you know, stop pretending
Yeah.
that you're like a hotshot when you've been working for like 6 months. Just admit that you're new in the industry and you're trying to get your foot in the door, that sort of thing. But yeah,
Nice. And then, so you got some people booking in free calls, and then managed to get a few one-to-one clients as well, but some technical, some people looking for career stuff, I think, as well. And then we thought you had what it took to kind of launch a cohort, uh, basically, to help
yeah,
people go full time. What was that process like? What was kind of going through your mind at the time? That was about a year ago, I think. Um,
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, what was going through my mind at the time? Again, it was a lot of me complaining about the price and the justification of it, and that oh no, Tintin, I can't possibly
Mm.
ask for
How
that
much
much
were you
money.
charging at that time? Like, and you were worried about charging?
How much was I charging?
Yeah,
Well, the courses were 300. The most expensive course was $350. When I did
yeah,
the one to ones to just get information, I was charging like $50 a session in
yeah,
packs of 6, so $300. And then when we actually went to launch the first kind of cohort, we were going to do $2,000 for 6 months, a 6 month program
yeah,
to get their career started, uh, which I also panicked about and reduced because I was like, I can't keep a straight face pitching this on calls, and so
yeah,
I ended up saying like, this is the first time I'm doing this, so I'm going to give 50% off to the people who join the first like
yeah.
cohort, um,
Which
which
is
I
not a
don't
bad
strictly
strategy.
regret.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
I
I
did
don't
the
regret
same
that.
thing when I launched my first cohort. Um,
Yeah.
cool. And how was that process? What did you do to launch the cohort?
Um, yeah, what did I do? I remember like again, I just want to like not trivialize the amount of emotional work that goes into doing this kind of thing. Because I remember I spent a lot of time ping ponging between doing it and then going, how can I promise this? This is such an outcome, and saying
Mm.
like, I'm going to get you a job and I'm going to get you a full time job in Life Sound. It's like, how can I possibly
'Cause
promise
the
that? And I
page looked
remember,
pretty much the exact same as this, right? Like,
yeah, yeah,
oh,
it was pretty similar, yeah.
like
Um,
it doesn't really look that much different to how it did a year ago, more or less.
no, not massively.
No.
Um,
And and you felt like this promise, fill your calendar with live sound work in 6 months, was really stressful to commit to.
yeah, because I was like, I can't I was like, how do I guarantee that? I was
Mm,
like, how do I promise that? But I remember like you said to me the thing which I kept having to like write down in like when I was journaling and stuff and things to preserve my sanity was write down all of the things that someone would have to do to make it unreasonable that they would not achieve the result. And that is very, very grounding because it was like, yeah, actually, if I write it all down, it's like if the person does all those things, it's so unlikely they wouldn't get a job because you just keep stacking up the things they have to do. And
mhm,
eventually you're like, yeah, I mean, it's a huge amount of work, but like I can teach them all these things and they need to put in the work to do it. But if they put in the work to do it, it's very unlikely that they wouldn't get the result. Um, and that I think that
that
mindset
helps.
got me through doing it. And so I did write down like I just wrote down everything that I do. I was like, what do I
Yeah,
why do people hire me? And what have I done in the past? What did I do wrong in the past? What would I need to know to start again? And I just yeah, wrote
yeah.
it down over like several A4 pages, essentially.
And then and the actual steps you took to launch the cohort were like, you make the landing page? Is that what the first thing you did with the video VSL?
Yeah. Yeah, I
And
think
then
so. Yeah. I made the
and
landing page and an application
yeah,
form.
yeah.
And I said like, yeah, do you know, I don't think the landing page was there actually now that I think about it. I think the
No,
first thing
I
we did
just
was just
remember
make a
that, yeah.
Google form and it
Yeah,
just had text being like, I want to help you create like a full-time career in live sound in 6 months. If that sounds
yeah,
interesting to you, then fill out the form and we can talk.
yeah. And you got, I think, over 100 applications or something like that from
Yeah.
I think, uh, and then did you do sales calls? How did it work?
Yeah. I got a lot of applications, like loads.
Mm,
Um, and then I was like, well, yeah, I need to talk to the people who can actually, who I think this is a realistic outcome for. So I emailed them and said like, hey, thanks for applying. I'd love to talk to you. Let's book a call. I think I just got like, honestly can't remember if I had Zoom scheduler or Calendly or whatever back then, or if
mhm.
I just was like, can you speak next week at X time?
Yeah,
Um, but like, yeah, I just got people on calls and then, yeah, I'd taken you'd given me the lowdown on like um, what a sales call is essentially, and I was like, okay, I'm getting on the call. I'm going to find out like exactly what it is that they need, like why they think I'm positioned to help them, and like what result
yeah,
they want, and then pitch them on the program and tell them like this is what I'm doing. If you'd like to join, like this is the price, and we're going to start on this date, which was like June or something,
yeah,
The end of June, maybe.
yeah. So you were looking for like, uh, 8 to 10 people or something like that in the cohort?
I think in
Yeah,
my head I was looking for 20 in the beginning, and then I was like,
and then we brought yeah,
this is too ambitious, and then
and then
reduced
and the
it.
price point was 1,000.
Yeah,
Mm,
yeah. Started
and
to, and then
yeah,
after the first couple of calls, reduced it to 1,000. Like, it was
yeah,
2,000 discounted,
yeah,
and so they knew
nice.
that.
And how did that first cohort, how many did you get for that first cohort into?
I got 8. I actually
Yeah,
got 9, but 1 deferred. One guy was like,
okay, yeah,
actually, after paying, said, I this actually isn't the right time for me. Can I wait and
yeah,
do it later?
yeah,
Um,
okay,
and so I ended up with eight people,
yeah.
and I ran that 6 month cohort
How
with them.
I know it was a huge amount of work at the time, and it was, like, a lot of emotional, kind of, hurdles to overcome, to get on the calls, to pitch the amount of money, to believe that you could actually do this, to deliver to these people, all this kind of stuff. How did you feel when you had, 8 people in the program?
Terrified because I hadn't built anything.
Mhm,
Um, I had to like and like it's a smart way to do it, right? Get the people signed up, get the money in the bank, and make it as you go. Because essentially, I was going to deliver weekly calls, and every second week I would deliver a workshop, which I think was more or
mhm,
less sort of how you were doing things as well. And then
mhm,
Um, yeah, so basically, I got them on the call, and I was absolutely terrified because now I had these people, I had their money, and they were putting some level of trust in me. Um, So yeah, I oscillated
Yeah,
between like being absolutely terrified and being like, "Wow, this is crazy." Like
yeah,
9 people just gave me a whole bunch of money to do this thing with them for 6 months,
yeah,
and I haven't even made it yet. That's interesting.
yeah,
And like, you know, at the time I was like, "Well, that's half of what I made from the channel last year in like a week."
yeah,
So, uh, you
yeah.
know, that's pretty interesting.
And how did the first cohort go in terms of delivery?
Yeah,
Like, as in how easy did you find it? Not so much like how successful the students, which is also obviously important, but like how did you what was your experience of like making the material and actually delivering to everyone?
um what was my experience of
Was it
like
more or less stressful than you thought?
it was a steep learning curve. It
Yeah,
was, it was stressful. Um, I don't think I had an expectation of it. I didn't know what it was going to be, whether it was gonna be stressful or
yeah,
not, but, um, I find it quite stressful. It's worth mentioning that, just for context, that I don't think that doing this is inherently massively stressful. I think it is quite
yeah.
stressful, but I was also smart enough to, like, take on a pretty heavy workload on the live sound side of things, and I was, like, touring, the country a lot
Let's
at that time.
visualize it with this thumbnail. Whilst yeah, this one here. Whilst Andrew
Yeah,
was, uh oh, here, yeah. I mixed 27 festivals this year, here's what I learned. Whilst Andrew was running his cohort, he was also
yeah,
traveling around, doing a hell of
yeah,
a lot of live sound work, so he was very, very busy on both fronts,
yeah.
um,
Yes,
which I think added
27
extra
festivals
stress.
is a lot of festivals.
Yeah,
Uh, and so that definitely added stress to it.
yeah,
I would say,
and you
like,
were still
it's
posting
scary
videos, still writing emails, still delivering to program,
when I
also
look at it, I'm
doing
like, "How?"
also doing the festivals, and trying to maintain a healthy relationships and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, so what I would say about the actual process of making the thing is that like it's not inherently super stressful. It's a bit stressful, but doing anything important or meaningful
Yeah.
is. And you have to at some point you have to do the thing that you've never done before and that someone's taught you to do, but you've not executed yourself. And that's always going to be
Mhm.
stressful. And it's always going to be a learning curve. And the first cohort was that. It was a learning curve. Um, and I was terrified of asking for feedback, and then when I asked for feedback, people were like, "No, I'm quite enjoying it." And I was like, "Oh, cool." So,
Nice.
I learned a
Yeah.
huge amount. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. And then so, um, fast forward a year, basically to now, you did 2 more cohorts, so 3 cohorts total,
Yeah.
um, and you've now kind of transitioned the program into something that, like, is gonna be sort of more ongoing rather than cohort based. How did the 2nd and 3rd cohort go first, both in terms of, like, um compared to the first one, but also, like, revenue, if you don't mind sharing,
Yeah.
and how was that kind of experience? Yeah.
Yeah, let's see. So the second one, I think went fairly well. I got 11 people. I still couldn't get the guts to put the price to the 2K that I had intended to.
Mhm.
So I started out at 1.5K, and then halfway through the launch period, I was like, "Why am I doing myself a disservice?" So I just increased the price to 1,750,
Yeah.
um, which you can do. There's because
Yeah.
there's no rules. So
Yeah.
so I sold 11 people. I ended up with, about 17K
Yeah.
from that launch. I got, like, a really good bunch of people,
Nice.
like, really, really good people. Learned a lot in the process.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, got really good results from them. And then, like, the 3rd cohort, I raised the price to 2.5K because I started having results, and when I looked at the actual what do you call it? Essentially, the return on
Yeah.
investment. To put in perspective, someone texted me like last week and said, like, so far this month, I've made 7K from live sound work. And I'm like, so
Yeah.
what's 2.5K if you're
Yeah.
making like 7 to 10K a month? Um, so yeah, I did that. Um, I got fewer people that time. I got seven, but
Mhm.
seven at 2.5K was that's 17 and a half, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, 17.
Yeah. I think so.
Yeah, something like that. So a similar amount of money, fewer people, but validating the price. And I also
Yeah.
learned a lot about like setting like boundaries and stuff for myself to be able
Yeah.
to like um,
Mm.
be able to have some sanity. And so I got a lot better at onboarding, at like taking people on and saying like, this is how this is going to work.
Yeah.
This is what it looks like. If you're gonna, if, like, this is what success looks like. This is what happen. This is what people typically do if they don't succeed. So make sure you're over here and not over there, and we won't have a
Yeah.
problem. And yeah, pretty much.
Nice.
Um, yeah. Did you
So
have another?
no, yeah, yeah. My question now is, so now you're in this position where you have this like high ticket program, which delivers great results, and people enjoy it. You're pitching people 2,500 on calls, and they're paying on the call in full, just sending that
Mhm.
money over to you, which is
Yeah.
something that has happened, I think more than once, or yeah, like now it's just now part of the business and part of your reality, which is a long
Yeah.
way from a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. What's the kind of what are the plans for the future with this, um, with the like with the kind of yeah the YouTube business? Where are you
Yeah.
trying to go from
Yeah.
here?
It's a very good question. Like, big goal right now is to get up to 4 people recurring like every month. Essentially, to
Hmm.
get like 4 sales a month at 2.5 would be 10K a month.
Yeah,
If I can average that through the year, even if I do ten people a year, then that's 100K just from the career accelerator.
yeah. And
Um,
how easy do you think it would be to deliver on that now that you've got all the systems down? 4 people joining a month, like how much work would that be? Do you think?
I don't think it would be like, apart from actually doing the sales calls, um, it would be not that much work. Like, to actually deliver it,
Yeah,
would not be a meaningful change to my workload, because essentially I do 2 calls a week, and I
yeah,
have all the course materials there, and I check in every day pretty much on
yeah.
school, just answer a couple of messages. Um, it wouldn't be a meaningful change to the workload,
Okay, yeah,
at all, I would
yeah.
say, which is nice.
Yeah, that's I think they're one of
Yeah,
the big values of like all the big benefits of group coaching. That's a pretty cool place to
yeah,
be.
yeah,
It doesn't feel like it would be add tons of work, but you could generate lots more money. So that's the goal. 4 students a month. Um,
yeah.
yeah. What else is kind
I
of
think, yeah. What else is on my mind?
yeah,
A lot of stuff. Like, one is price. Like, the more I get the results, the more I think about increasing the price. Like,
yeah,
because again, there's no rules about the price. The price is related to what you deliver. And if I'm delivering 7 to 10K months for people, then like I can reasonably ask for more than like 3 and upwards, I think. But that
yeah.
involves getting the data and also, yeah, that kind of stuff. Um, yeah, that I think would be the next step. Like, get the kind of the flow of people booking in working, see what a price increase
Mhm.
looks like, how that affects things. Um, then I've been like toying with the idea of devoting more time to it, to give me like either taking a break from some live sound stuff, to like go harder into it, but not entirely sure about that yet because there's a lot of identity and stuff to pack up in that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and then just keep making videos and see, like, who knows, see if the channel can reach 100K subscribers, which means nothing, but it'd be fun
No, it
to
would be
get the
cool.
plaque.
Yeah.
They'll
It's
probably
a cool mark.
discontinue the plaque before I get
Yeah.
it.
Um, cool. Yeah. And, uh, so you feel like the YouTube business is in a place where, you can go full time on it potentially, and or you could financially already, but it's whether you kind of wanna just put more time onto it and
Yeah, yeah.
grow
Like,
it. Yeah.
I feel like if I like just if I quit everything right now apart from the YouTube
Mm.
stuff, like, well, one, I need to have a good hard look at like what the actual profit is to see like what kind of
Yeah.
lifestyle that would afford me if it would be actually sustainable. But also, I think like the reason I'm entertaining that is because I think that the speed of growth is related to how much work I can put into it. And I
Yeah.
think like I'm realizing more and more that like having your focus in multiple places, like, I don't know, you shove the energy diagram out in the screen safe, but
Regularly.
I'm realizing I'm realizing more and more that like the split focus is like a huge penalty. You
Yeah.
know, it's like to wake up one day and just be like, you don't think about thing A today, you think about thing B. It's
Yeah.
like that's
It's hard.
difficult. That's like a
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
actually it's quite a big penalty. It's way more than you think it is, for sure.
Mm. So
Yeah.
to wrap up, what advice do you have for anyone on the call, anyone listening in or watching, aspirational YouTubers who uh, want to do something similar to what you've done now that you're in this position where you've got 6,000 subscribers, you've made over $100,000 from like in total from uh,
Mm.
from the channel and the courses and everything, and some years into this process. Do you have any kind of parting words for people here? Anything you haven't mentioned already?
Yeah. I wanted like it's a couple of things. Like I want to really hammer home that so much of the block to getting somewhere is in your head. Um, and it's like it's all like 95% of it is emotional. Charging the money is completely arbitrary, like because it's all about getting past in your head. Same with like the video editor. It's all in your head. Like if you think no one can edit this video like me, it's just not true. And never mind, like maybe they can't edit it like you, but if they can edit it 90% as good as you and you don't spend any time on it, then that's a win. Unless you love it and it like gives you
Hmm.
joy. I would say like, yeah, I would say my parting wisdom for that is like whatever the goal is with the YouTube channel, with a YouTube business, with pretty much anything, is that like your own current belief set and mindset is the thing that stops you getting there. And it's not easy to change that. Um, and like, I mean, that is specifically essentially why I like ended up working with you, Tintin, was because like I was like, I'm not capable of doing all of this myself. Like
Mm.
I need someone to look from the outside in and say, like, have you considered this? And then you say no, and they say, like, are you sure that's a real excuse? And you
Yeah.
go, no, it's clearly not. And that's not an easy process and it takes a lot of time. But like
Yeah.
you can change and accept things where like nowadays I can be like, yeah, of course it's worth $3,000. Where like a year ago I was like, are you insane? Like why would like I don't understand. Like
Yeah.
why would anyone ever pay that for anything I do? And now I'm just like,
Yeah.
that's how much it costs.
Yeah. Nice.
So
Good
yeah,
advice. Good advice. And ultimately finishing by suggesting that people join the program.
that's
Join my
it. I mean,
program.
that's exactly what I'm
Yeah.
doing. I'm like,
Yeah.
like without like literally coming out and saying it. If anyone's considering working with Tintin through the 100K program, which I'm sure you probably are because you're here, I would just say like do it. It's just like such a huge unlock to have like someone else who really understands what you're doing to look at what you're doing and give you some kind of insight on it, whether that is Tintin, whether that is the other people who hold the calls in the program, or whether that is just the other people who join it. Like it's like it's a big deal. It's a big deal to go from like making 15K a
Mm.
year to making 50 off of YouTube and not doable. I couldn't have done it on my own. That's for sure. Like couldn't have done it without your help
Yeah.
for
I'm sure you
sure.
could have done maybe, yeah, maybe not as quickly, I guess, which is the biggest reason why people get coaches and all that kind of stuff, and people join your program.
Mm,
It's because like maybe they would get there, but they do it over 5 years instead of over 6 months or whatever it is. So
yeah,
yeah. Well, awesome. Thank you very
yeah,
much, Andrew. I appreciate the kind words, and I want to be respectful of your time. So um, we can wrap it up there.
sounds
Um,
good.
but yeah, thank you very much for everyone for joining and for listening in. Thank you, Andrew, for
Yeah,
giving up your time, sharing your wisdom and your journey with everyone. And
yeah,
yeah, let's leave it there. Have a nice day,
yeah,
everyone. And thanks,
yeah.
Andrew. Speak to you later.
Thanks, man. Speak to you later. Bye bye.
Bye bye.